Good morning, students. This is 11th standard botany video class, video 1. In this video, we are going to see the botany lessons. Dear students, in your botany book, you are having 5 units. Each units which are having different topics. Under this topic, we are going to see different plant structure and their functional organization. Today, we are going to see the first unit, that is diversity of living world. What is the meaning of diversity of living world? Diversity, that means variation or differentiation of the plant things which are present in the world. What all the structural variation they are showing, how they are taking food material from the environment, what is the characteristic feature, that is habit of the plant, and living place of the plant, that is habitat. Then how they are producing the next generation. Everything we are going to see the unit diversity of living world. Dear students, this is your botany book content. First unit, diversity of living world, contains 2 chapters. First chapter, living world. Second one, plant kingdom. Then the second unit is plant morphology and taxonomy of angiosperm. Plant morphology, which means study of external plant parts. Then this plant morphology divided into 3 chapters. One is vegetative morphology, that is external structure. Reproductive morphology, that is flower and its parts. Next chapter, taxonomy and systematic botany. That means how we are classifying the plants into different classes, orders, families, like that. That and all we are going to see the lesson is taxonomy and systematic botany. Then the third unit is cell biology and biomolecules. Here, 3 chapters is there. First one, the structure of a cell. The cell is a structural and functional unit of an living organism. What are the cell organelles which is present in the cell? Second one, cell cycle, that is how cell division is taken place in the plant parts. The next one, biomolecules. What are all the chemical substance which is present in the plant parts, that structure, organization and function. So these are all the 3 units which is present in the volume 1. But dear students, nowadays in the shop you are having only one volume, that is all together. Both the volumes are combined together and having only the one book. In the second volume also we are having 2 units. One is plant anatomy, another one is the plant physiology. So altogether we are having 5 units. So this is the first unit, diversity of living world. Dear students, this is the unit 1, diversity of living world, chapter 1, living world. Dear students, all over the world we are having biotic things as well as the abiotic things. Biotic things means having the life activities which are divided into 2. One is the plant, another one is the animal. In animal, the human beings is also included. So out of these two broad categories, in this unit, we are going to see the living thing, that is plant. How the plant which are organized in the world from the unicellular substance, and how it is modified into multicellular, that means higher plants. How they are showing the evolutionary sequence between unicellular and advanced higher plants. How the plants which are showing the cell structure, respiratory process, growth development, how they are showing response to the particular stimuli, that is irritability, and reproductive process of the lower animals, that is unicellular animals, to the advanced higher plants. So that and all given comparatively in this lesson, and also they are showing the differentiation or variations of these structures is also given in this lesson. That's why the topic is diversity of living world. That means differences of the living world, that is plant kingdom. Dear students, see the diagram. Different animals and plants are all together. This situation is named as environment or ecosystem. How animals and plants are dependent each other in a particular environment or ecosystem. It's given in this lesson. This diagram is also showing how both of them depending each other. Dear students, in the lower section and all, you have studied plants which are doing the important process is called photosynthesis. By using carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll pigment, they are preparing the food material. But animals are showing heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, they are unable to prepare their own food material. They are depending upon the plants either directly or indirectly. That they are constitute the particular surroundings or an environment. So that's why they given in the small diagrammatic representation of the living thing such as plants and animals. Dear students, the next diagram is the structure of DNA, is a genetic material or hereditary material which is present in both animals and plants, which are give birth to next generation. That's why it is named as hereditary material. பாரம்பரிய பொருள் அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம், hereditary material. So dear students, in the first paragraph, they are given the general introduction. Earth was formed in the year 4.6 billion years ago only. The earth was formed. The life-giving plants are located in the mountain region, plateau, and glaciers. The life which is existed on the earth with a complex structure is called a biosphere. So what is biosphere? In region where the living things or life existing organisms are survival or living with a complex structure is called a biosphere. So the biosphere is the important 2-mark question. What is that one? life on earth exists within the complex structure is called a biosphere. That means the living things such as plants and animals exist on the earth with a complex structure is called a biosphere. So in this biosphere, we are having living things, that is plants and animals. So these plants and animals, how they are responding in the particular environment. Some examples are given here. Sunflower, which is response to the sunlight. The firefly, மின்மினி பூச்சி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, the firefly which are twinkling in the dark forest. A small rolling water droplet on the surface of the lotus leaf. தாமரை இலை மேலே இருக்கக்கூடிய the water droplet சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா, that one. Then Venus flytrap, that means some plants which are having certain modification to attract the insects and also trap the insects for their nitrogen deficiency. Those are named as insectivorous plants. One of the plant is said to be Venus flytrap. And a squid squeezing ink to escape from is the predator. So this is the animal which are spreading a small ink, that means watery substance, to escape from the predator. Predator means one who kills the other animal, that is said to be the predator. To escape from the predator, the squid which are squeezing or liberating a colored ink pigment. So these are all the different plants and animals which are having adaptive character to exist in the particular ecosystem or an environment. So these plants and animals which are having the life-giving substance or the life activities are regulated and they are made up of with hereditary material is called DNA. There is deoxyribonucleic acid which are transferring the hereditary character from one generation to another generation. What is that one? ஒரு பாரம்பரியத்திலிருந்து அப்பா அம்மா கிட்டேருந்து பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு the characters are transferred. That is said to be DNA, which is essential for the regulation of the life activities. Dear students, in the environment, not only living thing is present, another one is also present, that is said to be abiotic factor or non-living things. So these things also required for the growth and development of plant and animals. That non-living things are in the form of sunlight, water, soil, temperature, moisture, and also some gaseous substance also responsible for the activities of living thing such as plants and animals. So those gaseous things are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and phosphorus. So these non-living things also depended by the plants and animals. So simply we can say able to say that one, in a particular ecosystem or an environment, the interrelationship between the living thing and the non-living thing is named as ecosystem. In this ecosystem, life has existed with a complicated structure which forms the biosphere. எப்படி உயிரினம் எப்படி தோன்றியது அப்படின்றது கொடுத்துருக்காங்க எக்ஸாம்பிள். ஓகே, ஸோ these are all the different plants and animals which are showing different mode of characteristic future to live in the particular environment, both of them depending each other either directly or indirectly. At the same time, these two living things are related or interrelated to the abiotic factor or non-living things. It is in the form of water, soil, temperature, sunlight, moisture, air, and also some gases such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. That is said to be biosphere. Dear students, according to the scientist Mora and its colleague, that is friends, made a survey in the year 2011. All over the world, 8.7 million species are located on the earth. So this 8.7 million living things includes microbes. That means a very small organism which we can able to see under the microscope. We are unable to see with our naked eye. கண்ணால பார்க்க முடியாது. Then plants, animals, and human beings. All this creature showing certain unique character or a special character which is vary from the other living thing. That is said to be diversity of living world. Dear students, not only the differentiation, these living things which are showing certain common functional or physiological activities, that is said to be attributes of living organism. With the help of these attributes only, they are existing on the earth. See the flow chart which are showing the attributes of living organisms, that is different life-giving activities. It's said to be attributes of living organism. Growth, nutrition, that means taking food material. Growth, which increase in their size and height. Movement, moving from one place to another place. Reproduction, give birth to young ones. Excretion, liberating the waste material outside. Irritability, response to the particular stimuli. For example, if you are feeling hungry, we are taking the food material. Hungry is the stimuli. Eating food material is the response. Likewise, when we are feeling thirsty is the stimuli. We are drinking water. That is said to be the response. So that is said to be irritability, response to the particular stimuli. Another important attributes, that is respiration, taking oxygen and liberate out carbon dioxide. That is said to be respiration. Next one, metabolism. So metabolism, which means building up process and breaking down process. They are break the certain complexes or material and building the new material. So both of them are named as metabolism. So these metabolic activities are taken place in both plants and animals. So dear students, these are all the different attributes which is present both plants and animals. Dear students, attributes of living organism is the important 2-mark question. Kindly note it down in your classwork. Dear students, now we are going to see each and every attributes in a detailed manner. First attribute is growth. Simply, I told you, increase in the size and weight. That is said to be, what is that one? Growth. The another definition of the growth is increase in number and mass. That is said to be growth. It is a intrinsic property. Intrinsic property means without knowing, it will be taken place inner side of the body in all the living organism. That is said to be growth. Increase in cells both in number and mass. Numberly increase ஆகும், mass weightly என்ன பண்ணுது உங்களுக்கு increase ஆகுது. That's why I told you size increase in the shape and size அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன், or length. Increase in the length and weight. That is said to be growth. All the living organisms such as unicellular and multicellular, they are increase the cell in number and mass by the important physiological activities. It's said to be cell division. Dear students, in the lower classes, you have studied different types of cell division, mitotic cell division and meiotic cell division. Both the division which are increase the number of a cell and also mass of a cell. In plants, growth is the indefinite attributes. There is no limitation. That is said to be indefinite attributes. லிமிட்டேஷனே கிடையாது. ஒரு மரம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நல்லா பெருசாக வளர்ந்துருக்கும், இன்னொரு மரம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் சின்னதாக இருக்கும், ஆனால் நிறைய பிரான்ச்சஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ தட் த growth of the plant is indefinite. That means unlimited. But when you are coming to the animals, the growth is definite. Up to certain level only, our growth will be stopped. That is said to be limited growth or definite growth. So this growth is taken place with help of the process is called cell division, which is occur in the living organism. This cell division which heal the repaired parts and worn out tissues. இதெல்லாம் டேமேஜாக இருக்கோ, காயம் பட்டிருக்கோ, those tissues are repaired by the cell division process. In living thing, the growth is the intrinsic process. I told you, it will be taken place in the inner side. But when you are coming to the other side, that is non-living thing, the growth is extrinsic. That is, it is taken place in the outer environment. That is said to be extrinsic. Dear students, the 1-mark question is there. Growth of the living thing is dash. That means intrinsic. Growth of the non-living thing is dash. That is extrinsic. So for example, the non-living thing. Example, mountain. The mountain is built by the soil particle. boulders and sand mounds எல்லாமே கல் மணல் மண் எல்லாமே they are binded together and accumulate or aggregate in a particular region which forms the mountain surface. That's why they given the growth of the non-living things extrinsic in the outer environment. We are not building the mountain. மலையை நம்ம உருவாக்குறது இல்லை. How it will be taken place? It is taken place in a natural environment by the aggregation of soil particle, pebbles, stones, சின்ன சின்ன கல், பெரிய பெரிய கல், மணல், everything aggregated or joined together to form a mountain. That's why the growth of the non-living thing is extrinsic. This is important. One more question. When you are coming to the living thing, they are made up of with the life-giving substance is called protoplasm. This protoplasm, which are produced another protoplasm within the cell, that it's said to be growth activities in living things. Dear students, so that's why the growth which is taken place within the cell, that is protoplasm. So the growth of the living organism is intrinsic. For example, the unicellular organism such as bacteria and amoeba, both of them are unicellular. You are unable to see with our naked eye. கண்ணால பார்க்க முடியாது. Through microscope only, we can able to see the structure of bacteria and amoeba. They are produced another amoeba and bacteria by the physiological activities is cell division. Through this cell division process only, they are increasing their population. அதோட மக்கள் தொகையை increase பண்ணுது. By the process called cell division. Hence, the growth and reproduction are mutually inclusive events. That means both of them depending each other. That is said to be mutually inclusive events. ஒன்றை ஒன்று சார்ந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. Mutually inclusive events. What are the two events? Growth and reproduction. Dear students, up to this we have seen what is growth, how it is taken place in living thing and non-living thing. Living thing, the growth development is intrinsic. The non-living thing, it is extrinsic. Next one, cellular structure. So how the plant body or living thing made up of? Living thing which is made up of structural and functional unit is called a cell, which is present in both prokaryotic organism and also eukaryotic organism. Prokaryotic, that means first formed organism. Eukaryotic is advanced organism. Most probably, the prokaryotic organisms are made up of with only one cell. ஒரே ஒரு செல் தான் இருக்கும். That cell which are doing all the metabolic activities. What are all the metabolic activities? In the previous page only we have seen attributes of living organism: growth, irritability, respiration, excretion, reproduction, and also metabolism. Everything which is taken place with the help of that only one cell. Those organisms are named as unicellular. So these organisms lack membrane bound nuclei. At the center of the only one cell, they are having the nuclear-like material that is called a nucleus. This nucleus is not bounded by double-walled membrane. அந்த நியூக்ளியஸை சுற்றி எந்த விதமான மெம்ப்ரேன் லேயரும் இல்லை. In which cell? Prokaryotic cell. The cell organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, everything absent. Mitochondria இல்லை, endoplasmic reticulum இல்லை, Golgi bodiesம் இல்லை. Only they are having nuclear-like material which are not bounded by a cell membrane. That's why they are given lack of membrane. Lack means absence அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Lack membrane bound nuclei and organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi bodies are absent. Example, bacteria and blue-green algae. When you are coming to the advanced cell, that is eukaryotic cell, it has a proper nucleus at the center, that is said to be definite nucleus, bounded by a double-walled membrane. அதை சுற்றி 2 லேயரில் உரம் இருக்கும். double-walled membrane. Cell organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, ribosome. So all the cell organelles which is present inside the eukaryotic cell. This eukaryotic cell may be divided into unicellular and multicellular. But prokaryotic cells are always, what is that one? Unicellular only. But eukaryotic cell again divided into unicellular as well as the multicellular. For unicellular, example, amoeba. Multicellular, example, Oedogonium. Amoeba is an example for eukaryotic animal. Oedogonium is the example for multicellular plant. Dear students, this is the structure of amoeba. You already seen and also studied in the lower classes. This amoeba is the unicellular organism and also it is the example for eukaryotic organism, that means advanced organism. Dear students, this one also you already studied, that is structure of bacteria is the example for prokaryotic organism. The structure which we are seeing is the only one cell, the one cell only which are doing all the metabolic activities. At the center, a small spring-like structure present in the violet color, that is said to be nuclei which are not bounded by a membrane. So this is the prokaryotic cell. Dear students, this is another prokaryotic cell that is said to be blue-green algae, which is in the form of filamentous. We are saying look like a form of chain, but under microscope we can able to see with the filamentous structures or hair-like outgrowth மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். So this is the ultra structure of the blue-green algae, but in the compound microscope we can able to see only the filamentous structure. This is also a prokaryotic cell example. The last one is the example of Oedogonium. See, it is an example for eukaryotic cell and also multicellular organism. Each and every cell which are lie one above another to form a algae is called Oedogonium. It is a single filamentous structure only. So this is the structure of the individual cell. See the nucleus which is ovoid in shape, முட்டை வடிவத்தில் இருக்குது. surrounded by a two membrane இருக்கு பாருங்க, outer membrane and inner membrane. So this is the advanced nucleus which is present in the eukaryotic cell. But in the prokaryotic cell, we are unable to see the nucleus with the nuclear membrane. Membrane bound organelles also absent in the prokaryotic cell, but it is present in the eukaryotic cell. Example, unicellular amoeba and multicellular oedogonium. Dear students, I hope have you all understood growth development in living thing and non-living thing, cellular structure in unicellular and multicellular, that is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Remaining we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best, children.